Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to your Monday Night Live Stream. I am your host, Sir Ashley. I am a real estate advisor. I'm licensed in both North and South Carolina, serving pretty much the whole country, but primarily focused on the Carolinas. And today we are going to talk about the housing market, talk about May numbers, June numbers, and just the chaos that is going on in the world and how it impacts housing, but how I don't know, mortgages and whatnot are staying pretty calm in the midst of all this chaos. Now, I do have a guest, Sylvia. I'll let her come introduce herself in 1 second, but feel free when you jump on, let us know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions throughout the live stream as it pertains to real estate or the Carolinas, feel free to drop it in the comment section. That's what we do this for. We try to do this every week. My loyal listeners or viewers are probably like, no, you don't do it every week. We try to do it every week and just give you updates on what we're seeing on the ground. Now, this is the busy season, so Mondays get a little hectic. So that's why I haven't been as consistent right now during the summer months because clients, buyers, sellers, investors, I'm still out in the field every day, although I help manage over 200 agents as well. But let me bring on Miss Sylvia. How you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Can you introduce yourself to everyone and how can everybody get in contact with you?
I'm Sylvia Arrington. I'm with Z3 Carolinas. We're with Lifestyle International Realty. I've been with Lifestyle for almost a full year now and been working with Sir and Terry is my team lead. So you can find me at sylvia.z3carolinas.com.
Perfect. And can you type that in the can you type in the comment section or no?
Ugh.
I'm not sure if you can.
It's asked me to join a chat, so I had to join it. So
Yeah,
might
no,
be
I
able
can
to
I,
try to
I
join
can
it.
do it. I can put it in
Okay.
there. What's the phone number, best phone number people can reach you at?
803 five
Mhm.
seven three 4350. It's my office line.
Perfect. Office line. I appreciate that.
No
Um,
problem.
So again, we want to talk about May numbers, and we actually had an article come out recently in Newsweek, and it gave some highlights to where
Hmm.
you hear a lot of stuff about the housing market, and a lot of it is a lot of fluff, a lot of this hyperbolic language to get you to react and have some kind of emotion to whether act or not act in this market. And but here is the data. And that's what we try to provide you with the data, the cold hard facts, and let you make the best decision for you and your family as you move forward. Um, as of mid-June, the median US home price hit high, a high of $396,000, thousand
Yeah.
dollars 500. Sorry, I don't know why that was so difficult to say. Um, which is only now this is a positive thing, only a 1% increase year over year. Now, I know some people, depending on where you're at in the country, you see prices going down because you have tons of inventory. Now, this is the median US home price. This take into account the entire country. So yes, you may live in Florida where you see prices declining in certain areas of Florida. You may be in Texas, you see prices declining. And even if we're being honest, different parts of the greater Charlotte area, you see prices declining month over month in some very finite part of areas year over year. But as a
Hmm.
whole, we're up 1% nationally year over year. And prices are still going up despite what you're seeing in the news and what I even share with you regarding builders and incentives and various things like that. And we're going to touch on that in 1 second. Um, the positive thing, and what I said what I take away from it, Sylvia, is that
Hmm.
prices are growing. That's a good thing for homeowners, but good thing for buyers right now is that they're only growing at 1% year over year.
Yeah, so it's a slower, it's really slow right now because it
Yes.
could definitely shoot to like 4%.
Well, like, even like me, like, I've been in real estate for about 14 years. I think a healthy appreciation is anywhere from 3 to 6%. That's healthy, like every
It's a
year.
lot.
I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, during COVID, you had 15 to 30% year over year, right?
That
Which
was
is
a totally
insane.
different time
That,
though.
that's insane, right? Totally insane.
Yeah.
So I think if it's like between to help homeowners and then to not stop people from being able to get into the housing market. 1% appreciation is still a win. Now, in parts of the country, buyers, what I'm seeing, and you tell me what you're feeling. I know you just went under contract multiple times recently. Uh, I'm seeing
Yeah.
more buyers in certain markets and certain price points gaining more leverage. Like I wouldn't say it's a buyer's market completely, but in certain price points, they're gaining more leverage. What are you seeing?
Definitely at certain price points. I would say the
Mhm.
ones that I closed were definitely in the price point where they got better than what they probably could have if they would have waited for sure, definitely.
Yeah,
So it's definitely I'm not gonna say a buyer's market. I think it's still a seller's market, but
yeah.
I think that in certain markets it's definitely beneficial right now for people to buy for sure.
I wholeheartedly agree, and that's when, as somebody looking to buy or jump into the housing market, you can't look at this national data or you can't look at overall data for the city. You have to talk
Hmm.
to your real estate professional. Can reach out to us, reach out to Sylvia, myself, people on my team, to where we can learn about where you want to move, what area, what pocket, and we can do a deep dive into that particular area so we know how to position ourselves, whether it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market, and know how to, again, be informed. Because one thing you don't want to do is come in and just be totally off, right? You're over here, let's say it is more buyers, it's more of a buyer's market in that where you're looking, and you come in at
Hmm.
full price but asking for no concessions, no anything. Well, you just cost yourself thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah, if you go in at a good number, don't have
Hmm.
to be the price, but if you go in at a good number
Hmm.
under and you still could get your concessions, then you definitely come out bigger. You come out
Yeah,
better because those sellers are definitely wanting to sell. So why not give them what we think our best offer could be at the moment?
yeah.
I always
I'm
tell
with you.
people.
I'm with you.
Hmm.
Vivian, yes, you are. This is one of my clients. She's like family, her and her husband. She's coming down to Charlotte soon. Can't wait for them to make this move. Thank
Oh
you
wow.
for tuning in. Um, is the buyers or sellers market in Charlotte, South Charlotte, Steel Creek, Fort Mill? We will touch on that in 1 second. I'm not
Yeah.
avoiding the question. I'm not avoiding the question. I will touch on that in 1 second. Um, I do want to touch on, hold on, where am I at?
Those are good
Uh,
areas though.
very good areas, very good areas.
Yeah. Hmm.
I will say inventory is up nationally. It's up 14.5%. Um, but this is where numbers can get confusing because we're seeing more mortgage applications week over week and year over year, but buyer demand, again, numbers can be confusing. Buyer demand is down. So we're seeing more mortgage applications, but less homes going under contract. If that makes, if you're trying to put those two things together, like how is there more people applying for mortgages and everything like that, but then less homes being sold? They're very picky. Buyers right now are
What
very
I was
picky.
about
So
to say,
sellers, yep.
they want specific things
Hmm.
and they want it at a specific price and they want to be in a specific area.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
definitely.
And if your home does not check those boxes, depending on the price point, your home might be sitting for a little longer than you expected. And to
Hmm.
put things in perspective, the nationally, well, days on market here in the Charlotte area is right around 44 right
Yeah.
now. And I had a listing that was on the market for about 20 days. And I had a buyer come in and was like, why is it taking so long for this home to sell? What's wrong with it? And I had to educate the buyer and the buyer's agent, like actually homes in this area, in this price point, sit on the market for about 52 days. Like that's
Right. You're
typical.
getting one early. That's typical
Yeah,
time.
that's
Hmm.
typical time. So again, like you said, COVID times are just a little bit different. Buyers and sellers need to understand that during COVID times and when houses were flying off the market, that's never been the norm, ever. Like I remember in 2019 when average days on market, don't quote me, I'm just thinking of, okay, in the 250 to 350 price point, I can confidently say that average day
I was
on
about
market
to say that. Yeah.
was around 100 days. So it's all relative. Crystal, thank you for tuning in from Gastonia. Tell your husband I said what's up. I was actually I wasn't in Gastonia, but I was in your floor plan. Your the Eastwood. I was in the Eastwood Homes community, and I was in your floor plan, and I was talking to the sales rep, saying, I was mentioning you how the third floor makes this floor plan so much better. So if you're looking for three-level homes, Charlotte area, typically they have basements, but they're very rare. I'll say out of every 100 homes, there might be five basement homes. But you have builders building a third story that it's a loft or a bedroom with a full bath. Reach out to us. We can help find those things because I know a lot of people coming from up north, they want a basement, and basements are rare, and they cost
Very
anywhere
rare.
from 70 to 150 more $1,000 to have a basement, depending on if you get it finished or not. Whereas if you just go up a story, it might just cost 25 to 35,000 more dollars. So you still get three levels. You get to choose how you want it. But reach out
Hmm.
to us. We can definitely help. What else are we talking about? Uh,
Custom. They
so
want
with,
custom basements.
yes, yes, they want custom basements at a budget though,
At
right?
a 450,000
Yeah,
price.
yeah, at a budget where like that's gonna be. With that said, there's a new community. I'm not going to say the name of the community, Sylvia, but there's a community in York, new construction, where they're offering basement lots right now. They're starting to build them for under 550, which is very rare in the Charlotte area to get a basement home for under 550. Like typically
That
basement homes are 600, 650 at a minimum. And we're talking about almost 4,000 square feet, 3,800 square foot home. Basement
unfinished,
finished.
right?
No,
Oh,
finished.
finished. Oh,
I was talking to Terry
okay.
about it earlier. I said I'll put you on the message. I'll put you on the message
Yeah,
chain.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Yeah,
if that's
I
something
can.
you're looking for, reach out
Yes.
to us. We know where it's at,
Okay.
where it's located. It's not publicized just yet, but that's the benefits of working with us because we have very good relationships with a lot of builders, and we're able to know what's coming around the corner and give that to our agents. I mean our clients before the rest of the world is bidding on it. And we're actually talking about in the Eastwood Home community, we're talking
Yeah.
about the in your community, Crystal, how they released some more lots, the second phase, and how I think last month or last in a very short period of time, maybe 2 weeks, it's like seven homes went under contract very fast because of the pricing in your community for basement lots.
Oh, wow.
So and that's over, like you said, over 600,000. And they went, I think it was like seven. I don't know if they all were basement, but they're selling quickly. There was a large waiting list in your community, Crystal. And I bet every sale you're just happy because you see your price appreciation, your equity going up and up and up. So
Mhm.
I know you like that. Um,
Yeah.
so I want to touch on the question that Chris and Vivian had about Fort Mill and Still Creek. But before I do, I want to set a realistic expectations for sellers. I have some sellers, and we all do. I'm a real estate advisor. Yes, it's my job to look at the market, look at the data, and advise you and guide you through the process. With that said, you as the homeowner or home buyer make the ultimate decision, right?
Hmm.
So I can tell you, hey, I think we're a little overpriced here, or I think I can give recommendations, but it ultimately comes down to you. And one thing that some of my clients that didn't, I'm not going to say I'm always right, but I'm looking at the data and all my suggestions are always based in data. I was like, hey, I think we're a little high in our pricing. And here we are on the market for quite some time, and there's no traction, no showings, and everything like that. So now we're in the process of chasing the market down. You don't ever want to be in that position. And I'm telling you this because I like to share my wins, but also, I mean, it's real life. You got to share. It's not a loss yet, but your struggles and challenges as well. So,
Yep.
and I don't take offense to it because again, it's my job to advise, and I want you to get the most money you can for your property, or to be able to buy it for the least amount possible, right?
Hmm.
And I'm perfectly fine with going with your strategy, but then we may have to pivot if it's
It's a
not.
it's it's not where it needs to go, right? I'm totally
Exactly.
with you on that. Like
Hmm.
we can
Yep.
advise, but we can't force you to do something.
Yeah.
But we also have to understand and let our sellers know that if we need to pivot, we need you guys ready to pivot because
Exactly.
we want the goal is for you to get this home sold. So we're coming from a place of trying to help rather than to make sure you're getting the best deal. So I definitely
Yeah.
agree with you on that. But it's difficult because you're telling somebody, oh, they think my house is worth 550, and I'm like, your house is worth 495, and it's hard for some people to realize they put all that
So
money and stuff into it. So,
the over improvement is a real thing.
ah, well, yeah,
Over improvement, you can your home could be absolutely beautiful on the inside, and like in an ideal world could be worth that 550. But if
hmm
your neighbor's home sold for 470,
no way we're going that route.
even if you get 550, and if it's a FHA or VA buyer, it's not going to appraise for 550, and then you're going to come down and like you have to come back to the appraisal price, right?
Yep.
So it's always going to be a challenge. TLALB, thank you for tuning in from New Jersey. I appreciate it. Um, so Still Creek, Fort Mill. I will say this: buyers or sellers market in South Charlotte, Still Creek. It is more of a buyer's market right now. I have some homes. I say I personally have a listing in the Palisades. I know Lifestyle in general has about 8 listings right now in the Palisades. In the Palisades, those of you who are unfamiliar with what the Palisades is, in Still Creek in South Charlotte, it is one of the premier master plan communities in all of Charlotte. So it has a golf course, has a country club, has a social club, tennis. I won't say arena, but it's an outdoor. So I won't say arena. Tennis facilities, a
hmm
gym, multiple pools. You're right on Lake Wiley. You have kayaking. You have a 55 and older community right in there as well. It is. It's like if you're living in Still Creek or South Charlotte, it's the place to be. Like when you go into it, there's like it has a waterfall at the entrance that says the Palisades. It's just very welcoming and inviting. Has a private school in there. Like it is amazing,
Yeah,
but
it is beautiful.
it's beautiful, and you have prices, homes priced anywhere from 450 to about 2 million in that community,
hmm
right? And right now we have home sitting. So you have one of two things. It's a buyer's market because you have more options and selection, right? But I can speak for my own client. My client wants to sell, but does she need to sell? Is she extremely motivated to sell? Nah, not really. So it's one of those things to where as a buyer, it may not be the exact home you want because her home is like immaculate, perfect, and everything like that. She's not budging on her price. So it may not be the exact home you want, but I know for a fact there's a house around the corner that is very flexible.
hmm
Does it have all the finishes and everything like that? No. But are you going to be able to get it at a very attractive price? Probably. So it's just one of those things as a buyer, yes, you have options, you have choices, and you can come in and make aggressive offers. Just know that every seller isn't desperate, right? Isn't as motivated.
Yeah.
So just keep that in perspective when
But
you're
I've
looking.
noticed that most buyers think that if somebody's
Yeah,
selling at their house, that they are desperate.
yeah, yeah. No, no,
They want out of it, don't they? Like, do they?
yeah. It's one of those things where at times it's like I don't know how to put it. What's the analogy? It's like, okay, I will look at another house. I'll think about buying a house, another house, if I get
hmm
the price I want for this home. Like I love this home, but some people just need a project to do, right? Like they fix this house up as much as they can. It's picture perfect. It's magazine ready. So they're like, huh, I'm
Boy,
retired. I need my next project,
yep,
right?
that's so
So
true.
do they need to sell? No.
Uh-uh.
But when they if they do sell and they find something, that's just some another project they can go mess around with for another 2, 3 years before they sell that one again, right? Um
Yeah.
Now Fort Mill is
Mm.
that one's a little challenging because the price points in Fort Mill vary. Like the townhomes are
Almost 300,000, over 300,000.
Yeah, over 300,000. That's more of a seller's market for the townhomes.
Yep.
Single family homes, because seller's market, reason why I say seller's market for townhomes is because while there's a lot of them, they're more affordable. So you have more people being able to compete for those, even with the
Hmm.
HOA, right? Now, when you talk about the single family homes, depending on the price range, once you get like above, I say 600, maybe 650, it becomes more of a buyer's market because you have a lot of inventory in Fort Mill at that price point right now. Um,
You really do. Yeah.
and I say buyers, same thing
Because
applies.
they could be picky.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Same thing applies. So it really depends on the price point and then the community as well. Uh, any other questions? We got about 23 people watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with me and Sylvia tonight. Hit that like button, share this with others. I am in the motto in the motto in the middle of changing my office. So I'm out here in the like the reception area here at the studio. I mean at
You
the
got put
office.
out. You got put out, man.
They kicked me out. We got a new printer and they're like, hey, we need this office. And I'm like, this is my office here. We got a new printer, and now they like, we don't want to walk back there. We don't want to walk back to the other office to print stuff. We want your office. So I'm a nice guy some most of the time. So they can have it. They can have it.
That's funny.
Yeah. But with that said, Sylvia, now we have a real printer. Terry was giving me the business about the printer we had.
We've been waiting for that printer for a minute, you know.
It's only been 6 months.
And like I said,
It's only been 6 months.
so
We
just
got it
because you
now.
had to move, we got what we needed. It's okay
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we all had to sacrifice. Y'all had to sacrifice 6 months to get the printer. I had to sacrifice my office. So it's working. It's working. Um, but any other questions you all have, please let us know. Um, Terry, I want to shout out Perry. She's one of our agents and she's absolutely crushing it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it is sir underscore real estate. And I highlighted her today, actually, in my Instagram reels and stories because she capped. And if you're not familiar with real estate and as a realtor, cap is when you cap at a company, it's a big deal. And reason why it's a big deal is because I know you see all the Selling Sunset shows and Million Dollar Listing New York and Los Angeles, and you think like real estate is just glamorous and easy. Sylvia could attest that it's not glamorous or easy. Like
It's
you could be
neither
out
one of
there
those things.
doing somebody's lawn right
Mopping
before
floors.
showing. Exactly. Um, but Perry, she has been working diligently, tirelessly, traveling up and down the Carolinas, getting things done. And she's recently capped. So she's that means she's selling a lot of homes.
Awesome.
Uh, and I would have to say, this is not my stat, this is from the National Association of Realtors, that don't get fooled by these Instagram realtors, right? Because there's if you sold more than 4 homes in a year, you're in the top 20%. Now, many people think like,
Wow.
oh, 4 homes, like that's 1 home a quarter,
That's
right?
work.
And that puts you in the top 20%. I can speak for Perry. Just last week, she had 3 closings. So, um, all right, yes, you got a printer, Perry. You got a printer. She had 3 closings just last week. So shout out to you for putting in the work. Also to Anisha Sims. She's not, I don't believe she's on right now, but shout out to her as well for capping. Uh, Again, hard work. I know it takes a lot of time and effort, and you are diligent for your clients, to your clients. And who else capped? Terry in this office is capped as well. So shout you all out.
Y'all killing it out here. Doing good.
You know, hold on, don't say y'all. I'm seeing your closings. You better put yourself in that one.
Okay, we killing it out here. We trying to we out here grinding. It's a
We
grind.
are.
Real estate is a grind. I'm learning that.
No, I am
Learning it.
definitely proud of you all because you all keep me. motivated and humble, and I at times get complacent because I you know I get in my routine like anybody. You
Everybody
get in your
does.
routine, and I think that things just should go as they go. And sometimes I forget how much of a grind it actually is, just because I like the grind, right? I really do
Hmm.
hit the grind. But once you take a step back, and realize that that's just not normal for people to perform at such a high level that you all do, um, I'm very appreciative. I'm very appreciative. I do have a couple articles I want to show you all. Give me 1 second. So where are we at here? Can you see my screen?
Hmm.
Where it says Federal Reserve Bowman says rate cuts should be on the table in July. So a lot of stuff is happening in this world. U.S. is bombing Iran. Iran is bombing Qatar. It's a lot of stuff happening, and a lot of economic uncertainty. And just last week there was a Fed meeting, and Jerome Powell, I believe it was last week, kept rates right where they're at. And a lot of people, Trump, Bill Pulte, called for rates to be cut. Some of them asked for Jerome Powell's job. And the thing is, the data nationally says that we inflation hasn't is steady. I mean, it's not decreasing. It's not subsiding. So the Federal Reserve have two mandates, right? Maximum employment and stability in pricing. That's what they have to do. And right now, the job market is staying steady. Although you do see a lot of layoffs and different things like that, you're also seeing a lot of jobs being created. So the job market is staying where it's at. And then we talk about price stability. They're not cutting rates or anything like that because pricing is becoming more stable. Their fear is if they cut rates too soon, say too soon, without knowing the impacts of tariffs and this war and various things like that. We don't want to have a double dip with higher inflation.
Hmm.
But one of the Fed chairs, Bowman, says rate cuts should be on the table in July, meaning they are looking at all the economic factors, what's happening, what's going on, and they will consider cutting rates. A lot of people read this and like, oh no, they will cut rates or different things like that. No, no, this means it's on the table. It's a possibility, and we really just need to see the impact of the tariffs and what's going on with Iran, because oil prices that's uncertain. That's an uncertainty right now. Um, so it's a lot of stuff, a lot of factors that play into why rates haven't been cut. But for buyers right now, rates right now, if you're a typical buyer, is right around 6.8, 6.81,
Yep.
I believe.
Hmm.
If you've been in the market to buy, you want to buy, hear me out.
Why now?
You want to buy exactly right now
Right
because
now.
there's less people, even though there's more people applying for mortgages, there's less people going under contract. So there's less
Yes.
competition right now. And you're able to
Hmm.
take advantage. I have a video coming out later this week. I have two videos coming out later this week. They're already filmed. I know I say I have videos coming out and I haven't filmed them. These are already filmed. I just need to put them out. Where you have all these builders talking about the incentives they're giving,
It's a lot
right?
out there. Yeah.
It's a lot. They're giving tons of
Hmm.
incentives to get your rate down to the fives. I've
Yep.
seen some at 3.99, right? Or
Just about to say that.
4.5.
4.992.
Exactly. So this is the time to be able to take advantage of it when there's a lot of uncertainty because the builders have inventory. Well, they want to move the inventory they have. And recent reports show that they are also slowing down new construction starts. So that means they'll be having less inventory coming to the market, so they won't have to give as many incentives or rate cuts or various things like that because there's
Of
just
the
again
uncertainty.
less homes, right?
Mhm.
So we want to make sure that if you're in the market, if you're thinking about it, if you don't have a large down payment, if you are budget conscious, you, I'm not trying to be funny, if you're budget conscious, you can't afford to wait because everybody that's waiting, when everybody decides to jump in, I'm not trying to bring up bad memories, but when rates were 2, 3, 4, 5% regularly, everybody was in the market and you couldn't compete with that.
Nope, it's like a
You
war.
couldn't,
Everything was it was coming in trying to.
yeah. And I can
Yeah.
tell you this right now. This is the fortune of being where I am right now, being able to see offers and help negotiate offers and try to put in good words with builders. There's a builder here in this area who is offering 6% seller concessions, right? 6% seller concessions, the maximum they can give, and closing costs and their typical earnest money deposits. When you go under contract, you got to give an earnest money deposit for new construction. The typical earnest money deposit is 5% of the purchase price. What we are able to negotiate today, literally probably like around 10:30 this morning, um, we gave them $5,000 in earnest money deposit. Now, $5,000 was like 1%, close to
Yeah.
1%
I was
of the
about to
purchase
say,
price,
goodness.
right? So it's one of those things where even 2 months ago, builders would have said, "We're not get away from me with that offer." That's not happening. We have our earnest money deposit is 3.5% or 5% or some of 10%. Give us what we ask for, or we'll just hold on to it or wait to the next buyer. No, we're able to get a highly reduced earnest money deposit and still cap all the incentives. So again, if you're price conscious, if you don't have a large earnest money deposit or various things like that, let's at least try. Let's see what's happening. Let's test the market because the worst thing they can do is say no, and
Yeah.
you won't know.
Hmm.
And this client was very apprehensive. They're like, we're not trying to offend them. We're not trying to do this, do that. But again, you have to know your leverage when you have leverage because builders, when they have leverage, they're going to use it.
You might as well
Right?
use when you got it.
Exactly. They're definitely
You
going to
might as
use
well
it.
take
So
advantage.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
Take advantage of it. But
Um,
yeah, I think
uh,
new construction is definitely with all those
mhm.
incentives is like the way to go because there's a lot of incentives out there.
What incentives have you seen?
Um, I don't know if we naming names, but I got some
You don't have to
places
name the
where
builder's name, but you can give me the
okay.
incentive.
Two for buy downs. Rates were, I don't know if it's still there, at the lowest 3.99.
Hmm.
And then we had a 4.99 that I had looked at, and those were in York, I'll say that. But if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
willing to
yeah.
live in York, we can
No,
get you some good incentives for sure.
no, most
Yeah.
definitely, most definitely.
Hmm.
And I will say this to the builders that are watching, because I do have builders watch. I partner with a lot of builders, and I'm speaking to one in particular. I was negotiating with them all weekend. If you like, you're not paying attention to the market. Like if you're playing hardball and not budgeting, not giving different things, you do understand that buyers have options. Like you're not the only builder in the Charlotte area, right?
No,
This is one of the newer builders in the area. Like buyers have options. Like so you won't budge on price. I get why builders don't budge on price. They don't want to devalue future homes. They don't want to devalue the homes that they've already sold. I totally get that. But it actually benefits my clients more if you give us more incentives to buy down the interest rate. That way
yep,
our monthly payment can be less, right?
and
But
that's
you're
what we
telling
need.
me you're exactly. So you're telling me you're not going to give me more incentives either? So you're not going to lower the price and you're not going to give me more incentives. And then you have this grand opening and wonder why no homes have sold.
Because we going down the street.
We're going down the street, right? Like so. And with that said, there was a new report that just came out. I just saw today. I think it came out on the 18th. Was that resale homes are up 0.8%. So now for
Hmm.
a while there, they're actually expecting resale homes to be down 1.3% because resale sellers weren't giving concessions like builders. And now they're still not giving as many concessions as builders, but some sellers, again, you got to find the motivated ones, they are willing to give concessions,
Hmm.
and that will help you get your monthly payment at a reasonable price that is affordable for you. But to the builders and motivated sellers that aren't budging on price and or concessions, you're really doing yourself a disservice because, again, depending on the price point, there's a lot more competition out here. We just talked about almost 15% more competition year over year. And so you're not in a position to, again, like I said, you got to know where you have leverage.
Hmm.
You're not in a position to not give in any one of those spaces, right? So sorry, I will stop ranting. But that was really, I was going back and forth shooting emails from Thursday till Sunday, and we still didn't get anywhere because they weren't budging.
Now I was about to ask you, did you finish getting it closed out or no?
No, they didn't budge. They didn't budge at all. Which again, I'm not saying they have to.
They
I
should.
mean, would I have liked it? Yes, but again, when you have a community that just opened and you have no sales, like you want to get on the board. Like you want to set that baseline, right? Even if like you don't lower the price and you're giving more in concessions, you got the price you asked for, right? So
Yep.
you that sets the bar. You didn't even want to set the bar.
Well,
So
maybe they're not motivated to sell homes over there.
maybe I don't get it. I don't quite get it.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but
I want to share this tab right here. This is from today, talking about the waiting for a buyer's market. These top 10 metros offer the biggest price cuts and booming inventory. South and West see surging price cuts. We are in the South. This comes from Danielle Hell. She's a writer, economist for Realtor.com. Hold on, I'm trying to get a list of the communities of the areas. Here we go. Sellers are responding to these areas. Price reductions. You have Jacksonville, Florida. You have Charleston, South Carolina. Now, Charleston, South Carolina also represents North Charleston. You have Moncks Corner. You have I'm trying to think Somerville. All of that
yeah.
is all in the Charleston area. I'm trying to think of it like I'm like Nexton. That what city is that in? Somerville. Um, where overall listings jumped up 36% in May. So when you have that many more homes coming to the market, like pricing has to do a couple things. Like it has to level off or go down, or or builders or sellers are giving more incentives, right? Salt Lake City was a darling during COVID where prices went up like almost 50%. Um,
Oh wow.
Here, number one for price cuts is Phoenix, Arizona. Share of listing with a price cut, 31%. Tampa,
Wow.
Florida. I actually have if you're looking in Tampa, the Tampa market, I have quite a few realtors that we do a lot of business. For some reason, a lot of people like to come from Charlotte and go to Tampa or Tampa to Charlotte. Like a lot of that commute
Why is that a thing?
change. I don't know. I don't know, but it happens a lot. It does.
Oh wow.
Like we have three clients right now. Me and this one agent. Three clients that are that we have referral
Oh,
agreements just going back and forth from. Um, but Tampa, um, percentage of homes with price cuts is almost 30%, 29.9. Denver, Colorado, 29.4. Average for days on market is 38. Tampa, it is 60. Austin. Now, Austin doesn't shock me. That was a darling again during COVID. Prices went up almost 53%, 54%. Share of homes with a price cut almost 29.2. Talked about Jacksonville, Charleston, um, 45 days on market, Salt Lake City, Dallas, where else? Palm Bay, Florida, Portland, Oregon. I wouldn't have pictured Portland.
hmm.
Okay. So
You said the
if
prices
you're
went
looking
up or
for,
they went down.
they went down. They went down in these areas, and you have um, They may be up year over year, but you have this amount of homes with price cuts,
Oh,
almost 30, almost 27% here in Portland. Give me 1 second. There's something else I wanted to pull up. This is one thing as an investor, I always follow what other investors are doing. And in addition to, sorry, man, um, as an investor, I pay attention to what investors are doing because one, I want to know what's happening in the market. But then two,
mhm.
what the investors are doing impacts the consumer, the normal home buyer. Because investors go in and scoop up properties and they're able to make typically cash offers or hard money offers, right? But investor activity, house flipping has slowed down. But what that does is gives home buyers, people that's going to owner occupants, a chance to a chance to come in, maybe not buy that brand new property, but they can make an aggressive offer on this home that needs some work and have that forced appreciation once they fix it up, which is always nice if you're buying in an up and coming area or a gentrifying area, because that's
Yeah,
where most investors are looking to move to.
and
Uh,
they sell too.
they do.
They
Perry, in this
sell.
market, are you finding that clients are leaning more toward new construction with builder incentives, or do they'll prefer resale homes with character? What do you see?
What type of character is she talking about?
More so,
More
not
so
the
like
not the
not the
character in the
work
sense of because most of the new construction, for the most part, they all look the
is
same, open floor
that's what I was just about
plan,
to say. Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
So character, like you have to define spaces, you might have some intricate crown molding, some baseboard, like just little things that you don't
Little
see.
things
Yeah, which you don't
that you
see.
won't see in a new construction. I mean, I feel
Exactly.
like a lot of people like the new construction, but I've also have clients that are like, I like new construction, but I don't like how they put the steps right at the front door. Or I don't like how it's no sectioned off kitchen or it's no sectioned off area. So I found that I have people who want to do both. So I guess when you think character, I'm thinking like, are you looking for a home improvement project? I was about to be like, no. But in that
Yeah.
aspect, I've had people tell me like, well, I like new construction because it's new, but every house I go into looks exactly the same. Like so
You're not
but they
lying
look
there.
towards it because of, like we were talking about
There we
before,
go.
the incentives, because you can sometimes get the incentive so much that you're paying less for new construction than you'll pay for resale. So,
Mo- So what I tell people, if they want, this is where actually I'm dealing with this with a client right now, is they love the character in older homes.
yep,
They love it. They love the sturdy build and everything. But in their price point, the older homes that like with the character also have character defects and flaws too.
I was just
As
about to
far as
say that. Yep.
older roof, HVAC system, the foundation might be a little shaky, right? And while they have funds to buy a home, I don't want, again, we've had this conversation. Again, I'm an advisor, right? So I'm not, it's totally up to them. But I don't want them to go in to a situation where, yes, they own a home, but now they're throwing
Money.
5, 10, 15, $20,000 at different projects, at various
Just to
projects. I'm
keep
not
it.
talking about 20,000 does it all. I'm talking about like one project may cost 20,000, another one maybe 10. And are they really ready to take on that responsibility? So the answer, we've had this conversation, the answer is no. So the option for them right now, just being logical, is let's go new construction where house is a little cheaper, a little bit more affordable in purchase price. And okay, so put it in perspective, new construction outside the city center. The
That's what I
resale
was
home
about
with
to say.
character was in the
Yeah.
city, right? So new
Hmm.
construction outside the city center, a little bit more affordable,
You're getting the
but
warranties.
that's what I'm saying. You get a warranty, and they're
Yep.
getting in the beginning of the community. So in two
Yep.
years, they
The
have that
money.
appreciation to where
Hmm.
okay, again, every market's a little different. So I'm not a fortune teller. I can't say exactly what the home will be in Charlotte that has the character that they want, what it will be in 2 years, but they will have at least 50 to $150,000 in equity from the current home to then look at that home with character, and they have that money to be able to play with.
Yep.
So it's not they're not getting exactly what they want right now, but it's a long-term play. It's a long-term play. You just gotta game plan it, strategize it. I call it war rooming to figure out what the end goal is and what can you handle right now and how can we get to that end goal with proper planning and preparation.
Yeah, I would say first time home buyers are usually don't want they can't go in there with that extra $50,000 to put into something. So definitely that character is gonna might cost them more money. So we might have to be
Mhm.
like, let's pivot to something that we know you can sit for a little bit on, make some money off of, and then you'll have it to go into the next one. So definitely, like you said, it depends on the client and it depends on we're not fortune tellers, we don't know, but it's a lot of things that it depends on.
No, most definitely. So I hold on. There is we're talking about this is a conversation I like to have with my clients, and I see several of my clients on here right now. In the Fort Mill office, you can all reach out to me. It's 100 Stone Village Drive, Suite 208 in Fort Mill, South Carolina. This Saturday from 11 to 1, we have a financial advisor coming into the office to talk to the general public. You don't have to be a
Mhm.
homeowner. You don't have to be wanting to buy a home, but it's one of those things to where I don't want anybody that hears my voice or in my circle to be ignorant when it comes to finances. And I'm not calling anybody ignorant as far as dumb or anything like that, just not aware, not
Yeah.
educated. I don't know about you all, but I wasn't taught finances at the dinner table, right? And going through school in high school or whatnot, we weren't taught finances. Going through undergrad, I
Not.
took an econ class, still wasn't taught finances, right?
Nope.
Going through law school, not taught finances, right? So we have a financial advisor to talk about how to game plan and strategize for your future, your family's future. And just talking to Anna in here today, earlier today, she was she was educating me about different products. I'm like, oh, I need to consider that for my daughters. I need to do that. So we have that here at the Fort Mill office from 11 to 1 o'clock this Saturday, 100 Stone Village Drive, Suite 208, Fort Mill, South Carolina. And Anna will be here. Terry will be here. Sylvia, you're going to be here?
Actually, I'm missing that one, unfortunately.
Oh
I
man,
got a family obligation.
you are
I
at
know,
every other event.
I know. My nephew is having a
Okay.
graduation party.
Yes. No worries. I get it. Family, family, family.
Yeah.
I understand, but no, you are dedicated. You really are there at every event with the family, with the boys. So thank you for the sacrifices you make. But I totally
No
get it. So
problem.
Sylvia won't be here this week, but we do try to have these type of things at least once a quarter. And I say
Yep.
we. I'm not. I can't take credit for this. It's the amazing team that I surround myself with. Terry organized this one. She organized a tax professional about 3 months ago as well. To where
Yep.
again, we want to make sure that the community, black,
It's educated.
white, brown, purple, doesn't matter, is educated when it comes to finances because if you're not, you will be getting taken advantage of and you will be
Hmm.
working until you die. And the goal is not to be doing that. Right? Our goal is to put in our time, invest wisely, and to be able to
Hmm.
live off the fruits of our labor.
Hundred
Right?
percent.
Put things in perspective. So reach out to Sylvia, reach out to myself about that. But again, Saturday, I know I'm beating a dead horse. I've said it 2 times, but it's just I feel like it needs to be said
It
again.
needs to be said.
Saturday, 11 to 1. We have a financial advisor coming to the lifestyle office here in Fort Mill, South Carolina, to go over different options to educate what is possible in proper planning for yourself and your children. And if you're not even not for your children, for your loved ones, right? You just want to make sure everything's taken care of. And I talk about trust and getting things organized with that. I can put you in contact with an amazing trust attorney, uh, HW Legal. We can put you in contact with them as well. Any questions you all have regarding the housing market, um, the Charlotte area? I did want to, just one more thing I wanted to touch on, if I can find it. Sylvia, anything you wanted to address?
No, I was just gonna piggyback off of the event for Saturday because
Hmm.
she's even willing to speak with your children
Yeah.
about the financial planning. Like I'm with Sir, I grew up and my parents we never talked about financing, and you didn't know. I went to college in ignorance of what not to get attached to with a t-shirt. So like a credit card. So it's one of those things where the earlier we start educating them, the less mistakes you make in life. So I definitely think it's vital for these type of events to happen so people can definitely be informed and educated on it.
No, most definitely, most definitely. I know I mentioned it. Hold on, make sure I pulled it up 'cause I didn't pull it up last time. I was looking at it, but I didn't pull it up. Um, where I talked about housing starts slowing
Hmm.
down to where many people think that, oh, these deals and amazing opportunities for new construction is just going to last forever. That's not the case, because once they start slowing down the construction, they're going to have less homes. And because there's going to be less homes available in inventory, they're not going to be offering all these incentives. The only reason why they're offering these incentives is because they've already got permitting, they've already started, and they already pretty much 45 days from completing the home, that they're offering so many incentives to try to get these off of their books. So as
Mm.
you see, the title of the headline is May 2025 housing starts fell to their lowest level in 5 years. Building permits issued in May fell 2% below the revised April numbers and 1% lower than a year ago.
Question: do you think that it's anything to do with the labor?
I think it has to do with a few things. Very
Yeah.
good question. I think it has to do with
Hmm.
labor, right? Labor and tariffs.
Yep.
Because like the thing is right now, like the homes that they're building, they've already had that lumber, they already had those materials, like they already had that here. So those I'm willing to bet those were not impacted by tariffs.
Uh-huh.
But to start new homes, they would have had to order product, materials, and goods, right? So that will be impacted by labor. I mean by tariffs. And then I didn't read it, I heard it. And I could
Yeah.
not find an article about it. About uh workers afraid to come to job sites.
And just about to say that. I
Yeah,
saw
workers,
videos of people saying like went
yeah,
to a ghost town.
yeah, afraid to come to job sites because ICE and whatnot. Hell, even here in the Charlotte area, we
Yep.
saw raids happening and stuff like that. To where now they're just not showing up, not showing up
Hmm.
at all. So yes, and Lord knows that I'm not trying to bash,
I got you.
anybody, but
Hmm.
I don't know how to swing a hammer. Like, like, like you don't want
Okay.
me building your house. Like, you don't want me building your house. Um, and then you're gonna have people complaining about quality of work
Yep. I was just
not
about to
being
say.
not
Yep.
being up
Yep.
to par. That's because you got
Hmm.
people like me out there. Right? And so yes, no, it will definitely
Yeah.
have. I think it definitely has a trickle down effect and is impacting different sectors that, again, not to be political, but people that wanted this didn't
Hmm.
foresee these consequences, right? Didn't foresee these consequences to where now, just because of the tariffs and whatnot, home prices are going to cost more,
Yep. And we're
right?
feeling like we're already paying a lot, but now it's just gonna
Yeah,
be higher.
most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
So, no, you're spot on. You are spot on. What say you in the comments section? Do you think what do you foresee? I know a lot of people out there either have a home or you're looking or thinking about jumping into the housing market. What do you think is going to happen toward the end of the year? Because right now we're at the halfway mark. We're a little past the halfway mark. Um, Predictions are interest rates will come down a little lower, right? But one thing I'll say, That is the prediction. If
Not
you
a
started this
guarantee.
year off, and I absolutely love videos in the beginning of the year where they're like, it's going to be 8 rate cuts, and
Yep.
I seem like the curmudgeon because I'm like, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen at all.
You're killing
And
people's
then
high hopes, man. You can't
I
do
know,
that.
and I'm telling you, if I just said that, my channel would get so many more views. But I can't share something I don't believe to be true based on the data and the economic forecast, right? You can wait to see if they come down, but one thing I can guarantee is, and I believe I can guarantee this with 100% certainty, is regardless of how low they come down, let's say they're 6.8 right now, let's say they get to 5.8, they're still not going to be lower than what I can get you for new construction right now.
Yeah,
They're
but
not
do
going
you
to be
think
low, they're
that'll
not going to
push
get you
new construction
3.99.
down?
Exactly.
I
They're not going
mean,
to get you 3.99.
no,
So they're not even going to get to 4.5. So you can wait for rates to come down, but will that positively impact you? Probably not.
no. You just pay rent a little bit longer.
Exactly. Question is, you find there any move-in ready townhomes in the River District? I can double check. I can double check. Actually, I will be in the River District Wednesday or Thursday of this week. Um, my daughter has summer camp right around there. My daughters have summer camp right around there. So after dropping them off, I'll stop by and double check and see.
I haven't been over there. Is there a lot of new stuff happening right now as far as new
Yeah.
home?
It's a
Okay.
lot of stuff happening over in the River District. So I'm over here getting texts from my brothers over here planning trips. I'm with it. Let's go.
You got work to do. You
Okay.
ain't going nowhere.
It's business trips. It's business
Okay.
trips.
Okay.
Yeah, it's business trips. But I mean, it's nice to go to business trips at popular destinations, right? You
Yeah.
can mix in
Uh-huh.
a little pleasure in there.
Yeah.
Um, but I did just want to bring that to your attention as far as talking about the publics, people watching, viewers, as far as what's happening with the builders. Because I can tell you, right? Like I believe things are slowing down and everything, but it's one thing to see it in data
Hmm.
and it's being written because you might just be thinking, hey, sir wants us to buy a home. No, I want you to buy a home when it makes sense. That's what I want. Like when it makes sense for you, I want you to buy a home.
Yeah.
If it makes sense to rent, by all means, I'm the first one to tell you that. Once we have a one-on-one conversation, because I get to understand your position. Now, if it makes sense to buy, I'll tell you that as
Yeah. We.
well.
Yeah.
Right. And I will leave on this because I have a video coming out. I have 2 videos done coming out this week. Um, this one is about, I put a video out earlier today talking about a Meritage home and how my buyer was able to get down payment assistance. We talk about affordability. We talk about the interest rates builders are giving right now, and talk about buying when it makes sense. If you are budget conscious right now and you believe you need down payment assistance, this is the market for you. Reason why is because down payment assistance programs lengthen the process. It adds a lot of red tape into the situation because you have to get various approvals, various inspections, and most builders or even sellers don't want to deal with it typically. They just don't. They're
Hmm.
like, why would I subject myself to this? But because there's less people putting in offers right now, this is your opportunity to be able to take advantage of that, right? Where they would not have considered this down payment assistance program because we got to jump through 3 hoops
Yeah.
and it takes 60 days to close, whereas this conventional loan or FHA would take 30. They're willing to hear us out. And that's what happened with one of my clients who went under contract 2 weeks ago, last week. And the home is ready. The home is sitting there. But because we were able to get down payment assistance and everything, the builder accepted our offer, even though we're not closing till late August. So that's not those of you. who not familiar, typically if the home is on the market and ready to move in, they want you to close within 30 days, right?
It's the
They're
goal.
willing to wait over about 60 for my client to get through this, the bureaucracy and the down payment assistance and everything. So again, you have to know when you have leverage and what type of leverage you have as you go into the housing market, right? And there is money out here for down payment assistance. This one client I'm thinking of, right now we're at, I say right now because we're looking at more programs to add and to compound. But right now we're at 25,000 in down payment assistance, right? Another client got just under 50,000
Oh wow,
for new construction
that's
and
that's
able
that's really good.
for new construction and able to get, we didn't get the incentive with their builder, preferred builder lender, but we were able to get money from the builder to be able to buy down the rate from their chosen lender. So we're not at a 3.99, but we're at 5.25, which is still significantly less than 6.8, and get 50,000, well, this one $25,000 in down payment assistance. So
I mean,
again,
that yeah, it's out there. I have clients
it's
that's
out there.
gotten DPA assistance also. I
Yeah.
mean, not 50,000, but they've gotten decent amounts to be able to
Hmm.
help them with their down payments, and it's definitely come in handy. And we've had lenders that have lots of grants that they had that were giving out up to 20 grand. So
Yeah.
the money is definitely out there, and that's why we as real estate professionals come in, because we can help lead you to those programs that are needed, that are out there.
And And some of you may think you don't qualify for down payment assistance. Like this one builder, the buyer that I'm helping with the $25,000 down payment assistance, they have a good job.
Hmm.
Have a good job. They have money for down payment, but we still could not get their mortgage payment to where we wanted them to be comfortable. Again, I told you, if it doesn't make sense, I don't want you
Then it
buying,
don't make sense. Yep.
right? So even though they had money, they had a good job, they had a down payment, even with the interest rate, it just didn't make sense. Well, how can we, based on being a professional and our resources, who can we connect you with to see if we can allow opportunities to where it can make sense,
Yep.
right? So even though you had money for a down payment, let's keep that down payment. Keep that in your hip pocket. You can save that for a rainy day. Let's get significantly more so we can put toward the down payment. And now your monthly payments make
Or
sense,
lower. Like we always
right?
say, tell our clients, use other people's money. Don't use your own.
Man, as an investor, I love OPM, other people's
Yep.
money, other
I hear
people's
that
money.
so much. Other
Yeah,
people's money, Sylvia.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but no, Sylvia, thank you so much for jumping on. I know you were well, one, I'm not gonna say I knew you were a little hesitant and nervous. I will say I knew you were ducking me for like 2 months.
You know what? I wasn't a duck at you. But I'm gonna put in a
Okay.
couple things before I get off of his thing.
Yeah.
First of all, I have a listing in Fort Mill, beautiful Fort Mill right now. It's at 440K. Now, if you know Fort Mill, that is an awesome price to get into Fort Mill. I personally live in Fort Mill, so I'm an advocate for it. It is located at 204 Pebble Creek Crossing. Um, it is totally redone. Everything's brand new, washer and dryer included. First time home buyers, people who are looking just to move in and get started, you don't have to do anything to this home. So definitely talk to me about that. Second thing, I have multiple lenders that have DPA assistance. Please reach out. We can definitely get you connected with the right people to get you into a new home.
No, most definitely. And can you give them your number and email one more time so they can reach you?
Yep, my phone number is 803-573-4350. My email is sylviaarrington@z3carolinas.com. Give
Appreciate
me a
it. Thank
call,
you.
text me. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
I'll put your information in the description below. It will be there. I should probably do it before I leave the office because we both know me. If I don't do it before I leave the office, it probably won't get done until
Do it now.
tomorrow. So I appreciate you all for rocking with us tonight. I hope this was informational and edifying you as far as your home buying or selling journey or just learning about the housing market, the Charlotte area. That's what we do this for. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. I do read that, and I will again, a lot of my video topics comes from the questions that you ask. So I want to be able to provide topics and videos that people want to learn about or know about. So leave those suggestions in the comments, and yeah, we're here for you. I'm Sir Ashley, your real estate advisor, and if you need anything, buying, selling, or investing, we're here. Thank you for rocking with us. Bye.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, Sylvia.
I'm here.
All right.